Welcome back to our commentaries on the James Bond film series. And today,
What the fuck is this gold dust, Dweebs? Why are we coating in this thing?
Seriously, this is not good for my sinuses.
I don't know. I think it looks cool.
well, you guys said you wanted the golden celebration, so I got the first best thing, gold dust.
I'm gonna need to drop in a bucket of acid to clean this shit up.
Although I swear I ordered 1 kilo, not 1,000 kilos.
You know, Tio, at least he didn't take it too literally and give us a golden shower.
Jesus, that would be horrible. But
no, that's for after the commentary.
But Dweebs, tell us why are we like this?
But anyway, we are now doing 1964's Goldfinger, what is considered to be, among many people, the quintessential Bond film. Directed by Guy Hamilton and starring the now late Sean Connery in the role.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say quintessential, is this like the one that everyone and their mother knows and references?
Yes, this is the one that has that iconic scene. You know the one, the laser and the crouch.
From what I heard, it like redefined the formula, put James Bond more in the perilous, dangerous, and it's interesting because it's not even a movie against Spectre to begin with, just a
that's the thing. Spectre are nowhere to be mentioned in this film.
Which is kind of ironic.
Although when it comes to adaptation, it's a bit all over the place because if I recall correctly, it was like the 7th book in the series or something. So MGM kind of like zigzagged because they were constantly, connecting with the rights.
And in terms of stuff Guy Hamilton directed, at least for Bond, this would be as good as it got for him because he went on to direct 3 Bond films after this. Diamonds Are Forever, which was considered not very good. Live and Let Die, which is considered a bit of an improvement.
Yeah.
And The Man with the Golden Gun, which is considered worst Bond film material.
I don't know.
Despite starring Christopher.
I don't care what you say. I still love that movie.
Wait, hold on. I thought people loved Man with the Golden Gun.
Well, Man with the Golden Gun, it tends to pop up on quite a few of people's worst Bond films lists.
I don't know. I still love that movie.
And yet, I hear that title quoted a lot more than other titles for whatever reason.
What other film has a title like that?
Well, here's the thing. The thing about Man with a Golden Gun is that it's one of those Bond movies that was made during the time when the more campy era of Bond.
But we're 10 years before then. Let's get started with this one. So start before the MGM logo in 3, 2, 1, click.
So basically, Dwibs and Pedro, for a lot of people, this was like, The Dark Knight, The Empire Strikes Back, the
for its time, yes.
Best movie for quite some time.
For its time, yes, and for a while. Yes.
That's clearly not true.
But if you ask,
that's been there for the past 2 movies.
But like I said, Joe, if you ask me, to tell you what I think should be the blueprint for all Bond movies moving forward today, I would pick Skyfall from 2012.
Oh, yeah. But, like I said, Michael, so what was considered the next best movie after this movie?
The Spy Who Loved Me.
Yeah. There was also On Her Majesty's Service. When was that again, Dubs?
1969.
Because basically, Joe, On Her Majesty's Service is also distinction being the first time where Bond actually genuinely let's just say that movie is different, and that's all I'll say.
These guys.
Bond, why didn't you carry that with you? Maybe you should have hid it somewhere in case somebody notices. Wait, there's a weird helmet connected to a duck.
This film actually kickstarts a semi-tradition of the Bond films. A opening title sequence that has very little, if anything, to do with the movie's plot, and it's just here to start the movie off with a bang.
It's effective. It shows you the overall formula with Bond before we get into the actual main meat of the action here. You're like, show him doing just a typical run-of-the-mill mission, which may or may not tie into the bigger picture.
But, even the more modern films do this. Like Skyfall literally starts with a train action sequence. That technically doesn't have much. So this is not even anything that's new. for anyone.
I also checked for some preparation. Apparently, this beginning stunt, particularly the way it's also gonna end, it's inspired by real life events. Of course, reimagining with the gadgets, spy gadgets of this franchise. But apparently, someone in World War II kind of did something similar to this. Did a sort of a covered up using a diving suit, and then, as Bondi was about to do, changing to, there you go, an outfit that was being covered by the diving suit for a party.
Oh yeah, this one's a classic, and I do mean a classic. Like, more often than not, you see loads of spy films do this. The coming out of a diving suit and changing into more formal wear. Like even stuff like oh.
Boop.
Hey, how come that man isn't running away?
Maybe he's used to
I guess
this.
he's just more nerves of steel or something. Also, there is some, if I recall correctly, this is the CIA agent which had a casting change or something.
Right. Sorry, T, what was that?
In fact, I don't think he's this guy, but because I forgot. But if I recall correctly, the CIA agent, which we see in the first movie, shows up again, but is a different actor.
Yes. Seems to be a recurring thing with Felix Leiter, and that to date, only 2 actors who've played him have come back in another movie.
So
Do you
what
have a
is
gun
this?
in your pocket, or you're just happy to see me?
So what is this? His new
it's
love
just a gun.
interest?
It-
One of the day, at least.
yeah. Well, not of the movie, but because
Wait a minute.
Well, that guy clearly looks like he's happy to see him. Of course.
Thank you for the shield there, darling.
Like, okay, James, mate, you could have avoided that without using her as a shield.
yeah,
well, that's
okay.
if
There
she
is
was in
one.
on it, I guess.
Okay. In that case, it's arguable, but
Actually,
But
okay.
with these early Bond films, a lot of stuff regarding the women hasn't really aged all that well.
I think
No.
we mentioned this already in the previous Bond movie, but yeah, it still bears a bit of repeating. It's the classic product of its Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Well, you can say product of its arse.
Okay. I assume what it's implying is that she was sort of in on it and she was the bait trying to get him killed. Oh, she's alive.
That's the thing, Trevor. The whole, being knocked out with a single blow on the back gets portrayed in fiction barely happens in your life. But that's for another time, because now we get one of the more iconic intro sequences.
Yep.
Goldfinger, sung by Shirley
yeah.
Bassey.
And she's really enjoying singing this.
Well, Theo, it wouldn't be a Bond intro without that. Come on.
Oh, no. What I mean is that the singer, it seems to be enjoying a lot singing this, particularly how she holds the notes.
So yeah, we got so for the first time in this series, we have a Welsh singer.
Huh.
Let's say our Syria country in 1964 finally had representation in the Bond films.
I do
Singing wise.
I do wonder though, okay, Bond. I'm assuming that he made the assumption that she was in on it, hence why he used her as a shield. But if he assumes that she was in on the deal, why does he just let her go?
I don't know.
Bond is weird.
Technically not early installment weirdness, but I guess we could call it more of an earlier phase
He's an
weirdness.
inconsistent person.
Yeah, I guess.
Also, we have a bit of a case of Darth Vader, dubbing case, because our main villain here is portrayed by, I think, a German actor, Gerd Frobe, but for some reason they dubbed him over for 95% of his scenes, and his original voice is only heard in 1 or 2 cases.
Hey, I remember that scene from James Bond 2.
It is still iconic.
Oh, and by the way, this will be the last title sequence developed by Robert Brown, John, because in the next movie they got Maurice Binder back from the first movie. And yes, John Barry's doing the music again.
Of course.
Fair enough.
Now hold this pose tightly, dear. We need to project this onto your back.
Yeah, I've been here for hours.
No. We just have to get this take right. Again, don't even show so much as a breath, okay? Hold entirely still.
I still am amused that the producer is someone called Broccoli for last name.
Yeah. Okay, I think...
Okay, calm down, lady. Jesus Christ.
Alright, so, Tio mentioned Felix Leiter.
Miami.
According to the screenwriter, Richard Maybaum, apparently Jack Lord, who played him in the first movie, wanted co-star billing, a bigger role, and more money.
So they say no.
Yeah.
And dubbed him over.
No, they actually replaced an actor. They dubbed over instead the actor for the villain, Goldfinger himself, but you'll see soon enough.
Also, Tio, we Welsh don't really know how to tone it down with music at all.
Yeah, I mean,
go home.
It's the country.
It's the land of song for.
Yeah, it's the country that gave us Tom Jones
and Bonnie Tyler.
So we start in good old Miami.
Yep. So, Felix, you've aged 30 years in
Plastic
2.
surgery.
So plastic surgery, he's aged 30 years in 2 years.
That's also another
Amazing,
thing. Okay,
isn't it?
I get that the actor changed for these reasons that you listed, but couldn't we get at least a similar looking actor?
Okay, this time Felix is played by Czech Linder.
Also, if I recall correctly, they had to film a lot of these in front of blue screens because they couldn't actually get some of the actors at Miami.
Wow.
Well, oh jeez.
Lovely. Moving on.
I mean, I think it's pretty well established even before this point that Bond isn't exactly a gentleman.
Yeah. So yeah.
Ironically.
Czech Linder. So when this film came out, Czech Linder was 43. How old was Jack Lord when he played? I
forgot actually. But still younger. That's the point.
Yeah, Jack Lord. Actually, Jack Lord was 41.
But yeah, we wasted no time introducing to the villain, which also for an extra pinch of irony, his first name, Auric, is a play on the Latin word for gold, aureum.
Also, apparently, Goldfinger, the character, is British, but the quote is that he doesn't sound like it.
The person who dubbed him over is Michael Collins, apparently.
Fun fact, Czech Linder was originally going to play the guy Goldfinger plays cards with.
Huh. Well, he does actually resemble him.
But they swapped roles because,
reasons.
Lol. Yeah, nice. I can tell there are bits and pieces where they're in front of a blue screen.
Well, this is a movie from 1964. I can give it some slack.
Also, the budget wasn't even that much, only 3 million. And while it did gross 125, so huge success, you can tell the budget was still limited.
Oh, I remember that 1964 standards, that was like huge.
Yeah.
I'm just going to lightly trespass.
And hope that you don't denounce me. Bye.
Of course, Miami hotels are very lax with who they'll just let into other people's suites.
No wonder Goldfinger was good at cards.
He's a filthy cheater. Whoop. That's still the introduction.
How come you don't notice the hearing aid?
It's
Actually,
just
if
a
I recall
hearing
correctly,
aid.
yeah, if I recall correctly, ED is like a plot point. He's faking to be deaf.
Jill Masterson, played by...
Was that more a setup for a joke? Knock knock.
So,
She's played by Shirley Eaton.
Sergio, where's your brother Jack?
We don't talk about Adam Sandler.
The term is femme fatale, you idiot. Damn.
Bond takes no prisoners.
Damn straight.
Pretty soon you'll just be called Finger because you won't have any gold.
I get the feeling this will lead to a circulation of revenge. Oh boy.
Jesus, he took it well.
It was
Sounds like-
Austin Willis who is the guy who played Mr. Simmons.
Of course, so you know, we've already broken a man, so let's pork in his suite to seal the deal, why don't we?
Insult to injury.
Exactly.
Yeah, you have no money and now you have no girl. Oh.
So, mission accomplished, movie over, 15 minutes in, I guess.
Huh,
Yep,
well, I guess I can see why this movie's so iconic. James Bond must have broken a new record.
It's a speed run.
Yeah. So, yeah, Goldfinger, everything is already resolved.
Yes, totally.
Wait, that's a weird pan.
Wait, what was the president satisfied about?
Damn it!
Okay.
He's a politician. They're never satisfied about anything.
Yeah, this was...
Yeah, that's breaking news in and of itself.
So
yeah,
Jimmy Carter?
So yeah, basically $3 million is the equivalent of $25 million last year.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Boy. Imagine landing the film career that allows you to get to make out with several gorgeous women across several lines of films. Like, I mean, jeez.
And remember, this was like the franchise that consecrated Sean Connery's career.
As bad as listening to the Beatles without earmuffs, what is that meant to be?
Ooh. This is not room service.
Why would you want to listen to the Beatles like that anyway?
Maybe
I wonder
Bob doesn't
who
like the
did that,
Beatles.
Well, in that case, listen to something else. First of all, who the hell doesn't... Whatever.
Weird. He just knocked him out, but didn't kill him.
Just knock Bond out. He'll be hilarious when he sees what I did with Jill.
We drew a mustache on his face.
Oh, worse than that.
Why, honey,
Yeah.
you're absolutely radiant.
Okay, The movie's gonna explain in a second, in case you're a bit confused. Supposedly, she's completely being painted gold, and that led to asphyxiation because her skin couldn't properly breathe. For the record,
suffocation.
For the record, okay, I get the idea that at this time people did not know and just speculated, but the Mythbusters ultimately proved that this is kind of bullshit.
Bond deaths being bullshit. Another news, the sky is blue, the grass is green.
No, okay, to be fair, there is some kind of degree about, how the pores in your body actually do react towards the air, but not to the point of killing you if you're completely covered.
I'd say you wouldn't even need the Mythbusters to deal with this. Just ask a cosplayer.
True, yeah, because I mean that's the thing. You see people do stuff like this all the time. Heck, there's some people who literally make a living off of posing like silver or gold statues.
Frankly, I'm more reminded of how Arnold Schwarzenegger makeup was for Mr. Freeze in Batman and Robin. I remember how uncomfortable
not just that
was for him in a lot of shots.
Not just that, the Terminator movies, the first two at least, also made him go through that.
Painting? I don't recall.
Basically, Joven, they had to make a lot of models of his face for the more, like for example, the scene where Arnold is getting shot in Terminator 2 on Cyberdyne. They had to use an actual model, and for that they had to model his face. So obviously, that meant Arnold had to basically just stand there for 6 hours for the modelers to basically, model his face, basically.
Makes me wonder. Wait a minute. Wait, actually, that makes me wonder. Wouldn't they have had to have actually painted the woman for this role anyway? So, by that admission, this technically isn't deadly because there's no way a film company would, do something that would take.
Did they use a dummy though? Was that actually the actress they painted?
No, that was, if I recall correctly, that was actually the actress. But there's the thing, Jova. You'll be surprised. Well, you should know by this point how much stuff people can believe these days.
Well, true, yeah, but again, here's the thing, though. I mean, like, even back then, though, one could argue that this wouldn't have killed her. Again, now I get the main reason for it. It's something to set up the main plot and everything and give our villain a gimmick. It's just that, well, the issue is that the method of killing would not actually kill her. Like, at least with other stuff where it's more insane killing, also nice shot there. Like, I mean, when it's more insane killing, then it's just more so that it's over the top. But this, it literally wouldn't have killed her. It's like if an Ace Attorney murder case happened because somebody was murdered by them accidentally tripping and falling onto a soft mattress.
Ooh. Also, before M mentioned about 008, it's actually one of the few occasions where we actually get to hear about the agent. It's sort of a ghost-like figure that we only hear about occasionally.
That's weird. It feels like they're setting up for Bond to truly fall in love with his receptionist, the one who will get away. But
no.
You realize she's the one.
That's the entire gimmick. It's more of a tease, but never go.
Moneypenny never gets any from Bond. Never. Like the day that happens, Joe, but that would be the day where the Bond series was officially jumped the shark, because it's one of the more iconic running gags of the Bond series.
About her being the only one who doesn't fall for his charm.
No, that's the thing, Joe. But she desperately wants the D, and as Tay would put it. But
it's him who doesn't want to. Yeah.
But it's him who doesn't give it to her. So.
Again, my guess is that if they ever did end the James Bond series, that's probably how they would end it, because then he'd realize that she is truly the one who can tie him down properly.
I will not spoil anything, Joe, but let's just say Bond, there's only one woman that Bond has ever loved, genuinely, period, and he will never love another woman ever again, truly.
Well, from what Dwibs told me, that didn't end well.
It did not end well, and that's exactly why he basically closed off his art. Yes.
Alright, basically the plot of this film involves, gold.
No shit.
Obviously. But as we mentioned, it's Mr. Oryx's entire obsession, and he has been fucking around a bit too much for, people to ignore him.
How much you want to bet that 15,000 that Bond forced him to part with was just pocket change of how much money he actually has, and he's just that petty that he would kill someone over it. It's personal.
Of course.
He killed that one woman I had one night with.
Well, as M said, this is not supposed to be a vendetta, just a professional mission.
I mean, okay, don't get me wrong. Do not get me wrong. The fact that a woman was killed because of all this is... Yeah. The fact that a woman was killed all over this is tragic and all. But I do find it a bit weird that they're implying it might be a vengeance case when, again, Bond only knew her for... less than a day, honestly.
Well, here's the thing, Joe. Even if Bond doesn't love the woman necessarily, I mean, Bond may not be like a saint or anything, but he still has a good sense of justice. Like he would not like avenging her would be something he would definitely like to do.
Okay, time to get to the gadgets of the day.
Time Q acts a bit more like what people know him as.
Yes, Desmond Llewellyn, the one and only Q, as far as I'm concerned.
But it's not perfected yet.
Desmond Llewellyn, yeah.
Desmond Llewellyn.
It's also a passing reference. In the book, apparently, Bond's iconic vehicle is a Bentley, but they wanted to modernize with the now super iconic Aston Martin.
Yes.
I take it those are good dibs.
Yeah. So much so that when something happened in Skyfall, it was like national mourning.
In a series that has had multiple recastings over the decades, Desmond is still the actor who holds the record for the one that had the most appearances in the Bond franchise.
Yeah, I think I said before he played Q from the previous film. He did Miss Live and Let Die because I think his actor was busy. But he carried on with the role after that, all the way through to The World Is Not Enough in 1999.
Exactly.
But James Bond might be the one to perfect it.
Yeah, don't get used to that.
Yeah, this is another running gag. Basically, when Bear talk about how I'm the one who makes all this awesome tech for you to break, it was a little cute reference at Q from the Bond series. Well, he always asks Bond to please return all this equipment in good shape, and he never does.
Does he? So, would you say Bond wrecks his stuff more than the crew wrecked the USS Enterprise in Star Trek: The Next Generation?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Honestly, considering what Bond does, I think it's kind of silly to expect him to not break things.
I mean, they're meant to do that.
That's a thing, but you're right. Q is very proud of all of his gadgets and inventions. I mean, it's so heartbreaking to see them get destroyed.
I mean,
well, you know what? I'd rather see
maybe shave off some of that pride a little bit. I mean,
look at it like this, Q. They may be destroyed, but at least the man using them is alive.
Oh, that's the thing. Trust me, Jova. Like, if Bond died on service, Q wouldn't lose any sleep over it. I assure you.
Damn.
So yeah, it's time to meet Mr. Goldfinger, like he said, socially for a game of golf. Apparently, in the original book, this bit actually went on like forever. So the movie had to essentially condense the entire thing.
What, did it go on for like 4 chapters?
I actually don't know the details. I just, know from the trivia.
Oh.
And here's...
They only changed the book, mate. The film made from the book, but we'll get to that later.
And here's the iconic henchman, Hot Job, which I think it was played by, back then, professional wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird, because, okay, in the Austin Powers movies, which, as you know, are parodies of James Bond, the Oddjob XB showed up in the first movie, which harkens more so to Dr. No, but he did not show up in the Gold Member movie, which is a parody to this one.
Well, like you yourself said, Joe, but they're parodies. They're just kind of doing whatever feels funny to them in the moment.
I guess it just feels weird.
Maybe that was part of the joke.
Boop.
Possibly. But yeah, I've heard of Oddjob. He's something of
He's
an
the
iconic
nightmare of everyone who
character.
played the multiplayer of GoldenEye.
Yes.
Never
The most recent movie, Spectre, also had Batista, aka Drax from the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, play an odd job type of henchman where he's also silent and he's very imposing and strong, except he's not short like Oddjob is.
And does he use his you-know-what to attack?
Batista bomb, no. Well, it wouldn't really fit in that movie to use the Batista bomb.
Interesting thing about the actor playing Goldfinger, Gert Frobe. Initially, the film was banned in Israel because Gert Frobe was a member of the Nazis. However, it turned out that he used his Nazi connections to save a lot of would-be victims of the Holocaust.
Huh.
And also technically, he did join the Nazis in 1929. He left in 1937, and he was only in the German military around 1944 after he got drafted.
So there's a lot of gray area.
Yeah,
basically, yeah.
Sure, at the very least, he sounds like a much better person than Geppetto's voice actor.
Wait.
Why? What's up with him?
Oh, Geppetto's voice actor from the Disney Pinocchio film was a full-on Nazi sympathizer, and the entire crew hated him.
Oh, great.
Right.
Awesome. Fantastic.
If it's any
Thanks for
consolation,
sharing.
if it's any consolation, though, they got back at him. You know, during the scene when Geppetto has to go fishing during Inside Monstro, well, usually a tactic back then was to have a live-action version going on so they could model off of it for animation. Yeah. During that scene, the crew gave him the ride of his life in that boat that he would have to be in, and I do mean shook it very, very, very violently.
But yeah, once again, Mr. Goldfinger is a dirty cheater.
Question why you keep him higher in the first place, but...
Who knows? Ironically enough, Hitler was also a fan of the Pinocchio movie since he made fan art of that.
Yeah, I forgot. He was a Disney fan artist.
Oh
dear.
Let's make things more interesting.
I mean, he did kill a little woman, so let's prank him.
I expected the dude to be a little less old. I don't know why.
Which one, Shirai?
Goldfinger.
I get
also,
what you
apparently,
mean.
Connery had to learn how to play golf because Gert Frobe was already a huge player of it, and it ended up becoming one of Connery's biggest hobbies. Honestly,
cool.
switching golf balls.
Well, that's the thing. Because golf is usually the sport that people play when they're retired from their main profession, basically. Like for example, if someone has a football player, when he's retired from that, probably golf becomes his new hobby because golf is much more chill and much more not dependent on your physical attributes. So
you definitely do have to be in shape to play it well, or at the very least
maintain your balance. Yeah.
Upper body strength.
Like you see, Goldfinger is not exactly like a fit type, but. Oop.
Oh, bad luck.
Shit.
Ooh.
One thing I should mention about Czech Linder earlier, you know how Felix Leiter is as an American secret agent? Czech Linder's Canadian. Oop.
Dang.
Ooh. Bond plays the long game.
This is a great pranking routine on a murderer. I mean, I do
all the gold trafficking.
Like I said, Jova. Go ahead.
This is surprisingly upbeat again, considering how we saw him murder a woman with gold.
Like I said, Joe, I am fully in complete sync with Galahad in the first Kingsman movie. Give me a spy movie like this any day over the serious ones.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like honestly, I could lap this
Don't go
up.
overboard.
I do feel like. Oh,
I'm saying just don't go overboard.
Yeah, I do get what you mean, because apparently they did later on. But yeah, stuff like this, like, yeah, it has its serious moments, but it also has those utterly ridiculous moments, but just runs with them. And you know what? Their dedication helps the movie. Like, you
Just
know...
don't be the golden circle.
Okay, now it's time to showcase the henchman trademark technique, in this case, odd job, secret weapon that inspires stuff like Kung Lao in Mortal Kombat.
Yes. I actually wouldn't be surprised if Kung Lao was a subtle homage.
A throwable basso hat.
Yes. What do you think, Tiz? Do you think Kung Lao was kind of an homage to Odd Job? Now that we think about it.
Libs?
Sorry?
No, he answered me with too. He answered me.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, don't worry about the damage he owes the club.
It was just for a little demonstration.
Imagine if they actually added Odd Job into the next Mortal Kombat game.
I can see that happening, but Bond is not owned by Warner Brothers.
Again,
so.
considering how he broke... Hold on.
Oh.
Trust me.
He took it well.
Trust me, Joe. If Ed Boon had access to the Bond IP, Odd Job would definitely be one of the shoo-ins, because Odd Job is just perfect for Mortal Kombat.
Considering how he broke the meta already in GoldenEye on the N64, I can only imagine it would be kind of like gone in Tekken 3.
So let me guess, Odd Job's a playable character in that game, and he's broken, ain't he?
Yes, mostly because of an accident. Since he's like technically shorter than the other character, it's represented like that, meaning that 9 times out of 10 in multiplayer, you cannot actually shoot it properly. Meaning that it will be the character that those who know the game will pick voluntarily just to fuck around with the others. Oh.
Just as planned.
Totally.
Honestly, I do wonder. With a character like Indiana Jones, 90% of the time he's thinking stuff on the fly. But with Bond, it's hard to tell if he's thinking stuff on the fly or if it actually is going according to plan. What would you say is the ratio, Pedro?
50-50.
It's also it's more again the case that Bond always maintains his cool most of the time. There's only a couple of times where he genuinely panics, but he never tries to showcase to the others.
Well, he would have to. Like, he can't have a job like this and cave into pressure.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's only fitting that he would later become the father of Indiana Jones.
So also, yeah, I think this is the first Bond film to not over rely on the Bond theme.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in that it has more of a soundtrack, or just the fact that they don't repeat it as much?
Sunday Driver.
Well, I'm sure she won't be important later. The way the music swoons when she shows up.
Yeah, John Barry's telling you she's important.
And if you remember, thanks to the scores, it's very important when something's happening, like the death of the tarantula in the first movie.
I like how he sold himself discipline. Wait, hold on. So was that car scene that you showed me with Pierce Brosnan a throwback to this, Dwibs?
No, not really.
Mm-hmm.
It was just to show. Basically, Joe, the point of that scene was just to show it's the Aston Martin DB5 Bond's back.
Huh. Which is funny, because isn't the Aston Martin, well, wasn't that originally not his iconic car, at least in the book?
Well.
Like I said, it was a Bentley, surprisingly enough.
But I guess regarding the movies...
Yeah, they just updated it.
Oh, snap.
You're a terrible sniper.
I'm not Goldfinger, you bitch!
So, one was watching one being watched by another. How many
What is
layers
this,
are there
the
to
clones?
this mountain?
Just like in the Clone Saga, Jova.
Oh my
Bond
god,
has
can
a
you
clone.
imagine? Can you imagine, Tio, a James Bond clone saga?
Okay, I can imagine it would be an interesting like point. A villain makes a fake, like a clone Bond, just to discredit him. Something. It's a common kind of plot point for a Death and Rebirth style of a hero-like character.
Maybe if the next Bond goes for less realism than Daniel Craig's.
We'll see what happens.
Weird, Dwibs. This scene really does seem a lot like that car scene from the Pierce Brosnan flick you showed me. Although, from what you told me, that scene was apparently terrible in the Brosnan flick.
Oh, what are you going to do,
the
James?
scene, no. The scene itself is fine. The problem's the music.
Oh, what a piece of shit.
Well, to be fair, she did nearly shoot him.
Oh, Jesus, it wrecked not just the tire, the entire fucking vehicle, Jesus.
That's one way to pick up a woman, I guess.
Wait, you're more concerned about the tires rather than the giant hole in the side of your car?
Well, I mean, you need the wheels.
Yeah, I don't care who you are.
Not everyone finds your methods charming, James.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's gonna be a bit more important even later, Shira. There's a bit of trivia that you will find interesting. TM, of course.
Yes, because as we all know, S sounds like M's, or M sound like S's.
Ice skates.
Ice skates.
She's played by Tanya Mallet.
Huh! That's an interesting answer.
Volkswagen garage.
Apparently her career didn't really went anywhere. She only did another movie in 1976 called The New Avengers. Oh, it was part of a TV series. Okay. But that's it. Also, this GPS is surprisingly good for the time.
I'll say.
It's always interesting to see a movie that accidentally predicted a piece of technology that we use currently.
Or, in the case of James Cameron, a movie that ended up creating the new technology.
It was kind of like the some old comic, like say the Blue Beetle or the first appearance of Black Panther, that had for the amazing new technology a portable telephone.
Ha! Imagine! Or Enterprises.
What a generic kind of font.
At least that's not Comic Sans.
I was about to say.
It's technically serviceable, but that's like it's just there. Like you think with a villain extravagant like Goldfinger would be very shiny or something.
They probably should use Comic Sans because then you'll know it's evil.
Brilliant. Was he sitting there the entire time?
Preparing a stakeout actually requires doing that.
Okay, who's playing farts with the trombone?
The composer wanted to be quirky, Lives. Come on.
Did anybody see that weirdo sitting on the hill all day out in the open?
Well, that's the thing, Tio. Tio, compared to how quirky John Barry gets with music, compared to Man with the Golden Gun, this is nothing.
Oh.
We'll get there.
Mm-hmm.
Verboten.
I don't know German. If I recall correctly, we're still in Switzerland right now.
Also, the Swiss speak German.
3 languages, like I said, French, Italian, and German. With a specific kind of accent.
If I recall correctly, Verboten means automobile.
Potentially, that's what they're fabricating anyway.
Of course, Verboten can also mean forbidden.
Oh, there we go. It was smuggling with the entire car, and now it's melting into gold bars.
Ah, so that's why it's Verboten.
Operation Grand Slam. What do you need Michael Jordan for?
Don't know, but the plan could be even more diabolical than we thought. Yes, Trumpet, that bad.
Yes. Yes. They'll be looking for a man who is 1 year old.
The man with the golden trumpet. Yes.
Yeah, basically, Tio, we're looking for Michael Jordan, a guy who is 1 year old.
That man will be the source of untapped potential and creaming other teams at the Olympics in basketball.
Ooh. That sniper rifle looked familiar. Yeah. Okay, can you actually take the shot this time, lady?
Skates, Tio.
Oh, tripping wire.
Oh no, I got to know her very, very well. If you are,
Yeah,
know
exactly.
what I
You're
mean.
a lousy
biblical
shot.
sense.
Yeah, well, you just said you're a lousy shot.
So, new love interest, got it.
Shit.
More like a new bank buddy, Joe. Remember, there's only one love interest as far as Bond's concerned. The others are just banking buddies.
Well, that's the thing, though. Each of these movies tends to try and treat each woman Bond's with like, oh, she's his new muse or something. He truly cares for her, only for her to either die or not show up in the next movie. Special mention goes to the second movie. Like, seriously, they were really, really raising the roof with those two, supposedly loving each other so much that she was willing... So much that the femme fatale of that movie was willing to actually betray her own higher command to save Bond's life, because she loved him that much. And yet again, she's pretty much vanished. But I guess this is something I have to get used to in the Bond series.
Yeah.
Much.
Ooh, revolvers. Those are tricky.
Again, thankfully, the Aston Martin is bulletproof, but, still need the countermeasures for something.
So, Dwibs, what's your favorite car that Bond's driven?
Hey, this one.
Ah, yeah. It's got a very iconic shape to it.
Whee!
Okay.
They're fine.
That car exploded from just hitting the edge, though.
Remember, Joe, we're still in an era when every car was like a Pinto. Hell, I'm surprised the one that slammed into a tree did not explode.
I know, right?
These cards are cards you can just tap it and it would explode.
You know, if you ignore the bullets, this is just a lovely night drive.
Half the wheels are missing.
Yeah, Switzerland's surprisingly a good place for driving around.
Oh boy.
For Bracken, how's he gonna help us?
Oop.
Well, shoot.
Oh.
Thankfully, he didn't cut her. I guess.
Wait.
So
Like,
it can cut the head off a statue, but when it hits human skin, it just breaks their neck.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
don't
moving
get that
target.
either.
But yeah, still.
But she's dead still, though, right?
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh,
Well, okay,
so why are you
never
complaining
mind.
then?
I guess
I
they
guess-
just didn't want to show decapitation.
I guess maybe she's just made of sterner stuff. But yeah, well, shoot, that's actually kind of surprising. I thought she was going to go on to be the next bang buddy of Bond, but nope, death.
He'll get another one at some point in the movie, I'm sure.
Oh, let me guess. Their older third
It's
sister.
again, we'll get to that later. Don't worry.
Not to mention, Dwebs, regarding the whole it hasn't aged well thing, it's important to remind ourselves that every single woman that gets in the bed with Bond does it out of her own free will. So it's not. It's not like they were forced to anything. Like.
Also, Bond isn't exactly, portrayed as an upstanding citizen, is he? I mean,
Oh, no,
Not really.
He's
No.
a misogynist.
yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Wait. A misogynist? I never got the inkling that he's a misogynist.
Well, it depends on what sure Bond you're talking about, Joe. But like when it's kind of something like the Daniel Craig era went out of its way to make things a bit more, like.
Grandma, why are you holding up the changing station like this? Okay,
cover.
again, Switzerland is a nice place, but it's not like this. It doesn't have old grannies holding up on that. But go on, Pedro, sorry.
Ah, it's okay. The Daniel Craig era did make some strides to try to make sure. There you go.
Yeah, that I had to mention. The first time I watched the movie, the moment it was mentioned, the ejection seat, I was like, okay, who is Bond gonna use it against? So, shit, Granny's fucking heat!
Yes.
Christ.
Grandma's packing.
I forget the scenes in the movie, actually.
I always loved me a scene where Grandma is packing heat.
Yeah.
Yep.
It happened in the first episode. It happened in the first episode of the
Avengers, though.
It happened in the first episode of the '80s Ninja Turtles cartoon. It happened.
The Avengers.
Yes. I mean, come on. Like that's a joke that never fails. Let's face it.
Wow. So I take it you liked it even in the British Avengers film?
Well, yeah. I have a soft spot for it. So yeah.
It was in the part of the training at the beginning, so it was also played a bit for comedy.
And to be fair, Alice was one of the core things about that movie, and trust me, that movie needed every saving grace it could get.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was not gonna get the car back at this point.
Wow, Mr. Bond is stupid. He seriously thought he could drive through wall. So drive through the wall. Sorry.
Apparently.
Works every time. So yeah, much like mentioned, this was the first movie that started showcasing Bond in much more perilous position and not as like a gigantic god that could no-sell an entire army.
Mm-hmm. Basically.
Oh, this is where that iconic death trap comes from, isn't it?
Not to mention one of the more iconic lines.
I'm sorry, sir. Your lips don't seem to be exactly matching everything you say.
Uh-huh.
No.
Oh, you don't really,
no.
you really have to.
Get your metal hat
I
cut.
believe you. It's fine.
And yet your metal hat cannot cut through human bone, even though it can cut through the statues.
It is a little bit of, shall we say, off-brand testing.
It is a work in progress, Mr. Bond.
Of course it is.
Let's just say, I'm going to make your life its worth its weight in gold.
The demonstration isn't done yet.
You see, Bond, first I will take away
And
that
yes,
which
we
you
have
love
to
the
be crouched
most.
first. Why do you
Yes,
ask?
I will take away that which you love the most, Bond.
Because they know
Your-
even the idea of that will make
Oh,
a
here
man
we go.
cry.
There we go.
Huh.
Classic.
Alright, he said the line, we can all go home now.
Yes.
Also, I gotta say, in 1964, the dubbing is actually pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
I'm more used to it, at least for my country. So I finding in actual movies where in actual English they had to be redubbed, is noticeable. But I tend to be more tolerable towards it. But yeah, to admit, they actually did a good job masking it. Oh.
Also, Jova,
Oh man, seriously?
Oh, boy.
to give you an idea, Jova, one thing that GoldenEye does, which was the first movie of the Brosnan era, that movie literally has Ambi, a woman, and she even says, "You don't like me, Bond. You think I'm old-fashioned and everything." And he's like, "The thought occurred to me. Good, because I think you're a sexist dinosaur." So there you go. That was one of the first times that Bond was legitimately called out on his crap.
On his behavior.
Operation Grand Slam, but those are 3 words.
Oh, boy.
Goldfinger
Cement.
is a man who cannot count.
Semantics, Mr. Bond. Semantics.
Ooh.
Thank God. For a moment, I was about to lose my ability to generate life, shall we say.
Considering your
Yeah.
history, I'd imagine you generated a lot of lives unintentionally.
Actually, wouldn't that be funny, though, if he actually just had the literally shoot him after he thought, oh, thank goodness I'm not going to get sawed in
The
half
fake
by a
out,
laser.
yeah.
One series does that a lot. So here's the main
Oh,
one.
here we go.
On a
Okay,
Blackburn,
first
playing Pussy Galore.
Yeah, hear what his character is called, straight from her mouth.
Yeah, that face said it all. Yeah.
See, basically, up to this point, I think Honor Blackman was well known for being in the Avengers.
Oh.
The British TV show, The
Okay,
Avengers.
But you
know
want to
what?
hear? Oh, sorry, go on, Jonah.
You know what Bond is thinking right now? He's thinking, thank you, God, I am now in heaven. I just need to make it out of this alive, and then I am tapping her.
So you want to know what's the kicker, Shirai? The movie unintentionally dodges a bullet because the book has had that kind of trope that was very common in fiction, even until I think the 90s, where Pussy Galore, instead of being just straight, is actually, declared lesbian. But of course, Bond's charm seduces her to the other side or something.
So she's bisexual, or the writers are homophobic, one of the two.
Okay, to be fair, Lips. Did the book specifically state that she's straight?
I don't know.
Because because you can make an argument that she's just bisexual. I mean,
Like you said, that's what happens in the book. In the movie, instead, they don't even go through that, and they just go through and just say she's straight from the get-go.
but that's what I'm saying too. Unless the book specifies that she's straight.
Again, I don't know. So
Because unless the book specifies that she's a lesbian, you can assume she's bisexual. So there's no way of knowing if that's really what was happening.
Let me give the quote. I know.
I think what Tio is suggesting is like, well, what's insinuated in the book is that she was a lesbian, which the book states outright, but then by the end, it's implied that Bond supposedly.
No, I get
flayed
that.
her.
I get that, but that would only be the case if the book makes it clear that she's a lesbian.
The book does it.
Oh, there you go.
Anyway,
Then.
so what's
Kind of
going
worm.
on?
So
I'm
the
not
writers
gonna-
are just homophobic, okay.
Anyway. So what's going on right now with this Pussy Galore?
Basically,
anyway?
she's working for Goldfinger, and he's held hostage until they arrive to the destination. It's still, a decent prison, but a prison nonetheless.
Yeah, it's a plane consisting completely of a staff of women by the looks of it. Which, yeah, I guess I can guess why that was the case in the book.
Wow, isn't that just like air travel?
Yeah.
That was my plan for escape on the way out. 35,000 feet in the air.
Hello.
Your mind, I'm changing in here.
Rude.
Well, I can't intrude. Or can I?
Always having a plan B.
Oh, drat.
Curses.
There's gonna be another one, isn't there? Third time's the charm.
Yeah, but guys, all these gadgets though, they're nothing compared to Bond's best gadgets.
His penis.
Nope. The elixir of eternal youth. That explains why whenever he changes actors sometimes, he looks younger than the last one.
Wait. Is that legit a gadget? Or
No, that's the only explanation I can think of. How in the mid-80s, he went from nearly 60-year-old Roger Moore to 40-year-old Timothy Dalton.
Yeah.
That's just going to be something that...
And in case you're wondering, Jova, no, that's not a reboot.
Well, remember, guys, we also went from George Lazenby back to
Sean Connery.
To Sean Connery. So it's not like that was the first time it happened.
Thankfully, this will never happen in the movie now that you mention it.
Hypothetically.
Is Pussy Galore her actual name, or is that a code name?
No, that's her actual name, because Subtle TV fucking damned.
Her parents are at a very, very interesting sense of humor.
Maria,
more
it's
than
amazing.
that, because okay, I wanna save it for the actual final thoughts, but let's just say that again, part of the characterization is also tied to family abuse.
Oh, goody.
Oh, Maria, it's amazing. It's a girl. I know, John. I feel like we should name her Pussy.
Seriously, honey?
Darling, she's our daughter,
she's not a cat,
cat.
darling.
David was about to...
But she's as cute as a kitten, and her first name will go wonderful on a billboard.
Flying circus.
Pussy Galore's Flying Circus.
Yes, why not?
Don't you see? Her name Pussy will go great with the family name Galore. Everyone will know her name. I wonder if she secretly hates her parents, honestly, for that name.
Again, Joe, just wait for the irony to kick in.
Sure. She literally put it on a giant billboard sign. I guess she must be proud of that name.
You know what they say, turns the thing that you fear and hate into your strength or something.
Well, I mean, there are worse sounding names in this series. Christmas Jones.
I bet you did. No such
Yeah,
luck.
no.
Sorry.
What a whimsical sounding track.
Yeah, I was about to mention, we get it, Mr. Composer.
John Barry wants to show you he can be whimsical.
Yes.
I can't believe that.
But can you too? Can you?
Can I truly? That's the real question.
Are you being sincere when you say that? Because he really wants you to really wants to be sure. Also, nice to see that Pussy has her own clone army. There you go.
Yeah, seriously. Are they her daughters or clones?
Skipper.
Well, I guess, Joel, we were too early to say about the Clone Saga.
Yeah. Oh god, can you imagine, Gio? A story where Bond meets clones of every woman he's ever loved, per se. Now, welcome here to Huckleberry Farm on the Kentucky Road Derby.
You're composing for a spy movie, sir.
Yeah, like, I mean... The music in this is quite interesting.
Varied, at the very least.
I really like it.
Also,
Oh,
your
yeah.
hat color is horrible. Pick
Like I
a
said,
new one. Jesus Christ.
like I said, Jova, what you're experiencing is the spy movie experience that me and Gala had from Kingsman grew up on. Basically.
Oh yeah, it is.
Oh yeah, that hat really is a gross color.
It is
Like, you love
very
gold,
quirky.
put a darker shade of yellow. Yeah.
You're gonna give me a hat.
This is where you belong, Mr. Bond, in a cell. Doomed to be nothing but a relic of the past, until finally you wither and join the earth from which you came.
What if it
Well, at
starts
least the bed
raining?
is
I'm gonna be
comfy.
wet.
It seems like a sizable cell.
Oh, there you go. See, Jova? There you go. See, Jova? That's exactly what Judi Dench M thinks of Bond.
I guess I would need to hear or see the context to know if that's oh, Kentucky Fried Chicken?
Hi, Colonel Sanders.
I mean, well, they are in Kentucky, apparently.
Huh,
Baltimore? I don't know.
yeah.
I mean, the Carol is a giant product placement. They might as well go full through. Okay, I think in this particular scene you will hear a line or two that are actually not being dubbed over Goldfinger's actor.
All right.
What are you, 7? Jesus Christ.
Mr. Bean, what are you doing here?
No, Jova. Johnny English wouldn't be a thing for
Quite a while.
quite a while.
Early 2000s, I think, right?
Yeah. That's another thing. I need to get around to picking the Mr. Bean movie at some point
Sure.
because I love that movie so much.
Fan of that, Joy?
Yeah, I grew up with- I grew up with
She's
that show.
British. How can
I'm
you?
British.
How can someone be British and not be a fan of Rowan Atkinson? Like,
You'd be surprised.
but
Like, my dad was a big fan of the Mr. Bean series, and that got projected onto me, basically.
but Mr. Bean is awesome.
Oh, yeah, I know that too, but I've actually met legit some British folk who aren't a fan of the series or some British folk who haven't even heard of the series Amazing.
And you know what's interesting, Jova?
I haven't met the latter, but yes, Pedro.
And you know what's interesting, Jova? The Mr. Bean official YouTube channel now has the entire series on YouTube, so it's perfect for
really?
commentary purposes.
Which series?
The classic series. The classic.
The live-action series.
So here's Goldfinger's plan.
Fort Knox.
They don't have them.
That's ambitious.
Very ambitious. So one of the most iconic James Bond flicks takes most of its time in America.
Mm-hmm.
Neat.
Have you seen the library episode of Mr. Bean Shuri?
We had the entire series in the house on VHS, so I would have seen them at some point. I would have seen each episode at least like 2 or 3 times at some point.
I was asking for that one specifically because the library was one that was exclusive to VHS for a while back in the day.
I wouldn't be able to tell you unless like you showed me the episode now and then I'd be like, oh yeah, there it is.
This Ruby is very quirky. How much time did you have to construct this?
And is it made out of Lego?
So many statues, so little time.
And as we'll see in as we'll see in the next few minutes, this diorama's kind of pointless.
Yeah, as someone who actually has played Warhammer for a long part of his life, I can tell you, building up sets for battles like these takes a long time.
Alice has sworn to never touch those things again.
Oh. Let me guess, she had a try at making a diorama?
Too much work.
What was it a diorama of? The Battle of Mordor?
She just played Warhammer, Joe.
It's a bit more it requires a bit more specific. Maybe I should talk to her about that.
No, Bond. Bond, no. Coming on to him won't help. Don't fall for it.
You must be new around here.
Yeah, clearly.
Just assume he's faking.
I mean, they're being a little cautious. Look up.
Man, I guess Dobby Maguire managed to just, do a trick that was, patented by that point.
Just gotta get my suit on.
Yeah, that's important. That's the important part.
Boom. That is so cute.
Okay, apparently, when it comes to the nerve gas thing being used to dispose of people, Gert Frobe really wasn't a huge fan of that.
Obviously.
Yeah. Given his checkered past.
Understandable. I'm guessing they couldn't persuade them to change the idea, or...
It's well, you will see later. I don't know actually if it happens the same in the book, but you will see later what the kind of twist is. I mean, I can't fault with that logic. If stealth is not really an option, was just, bomb the shit out of things. Ooh. Yes, take care.
Understandable.
Damn, I didn't know Han Solo died this early.
He died before he even debuted in Star Wars.
Probably some time travel shenanigans.
So who was the guy who we saw then?
That wasn't true, though.
So, yeah. Music tells us something is about to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like he was going to take care of Mr. Solo. Wait, but they look like they were in agreement of the plan. Why is he killing them?
Well, also, if Goldfinger was just going to kill all of them anyway, what was the point of the diorama?
To show Mr. Solo, I guess? I mean, I thought
No,
it was going to...
It was to show everybody, but if he was going to kill everybody...
So, Mr. Solo, I guess, is the one he's going to reward? I'm
I guess
confused.
to keep them, buying into the whole thing for a little bit longer.
So let me get this straight. He kills the ones who do agree with his plan, but lets the one who doesn't agree live? Libs?
Get there.
Maybe he doesn't like a kiss ass.
Also, potential competition, just so he doesn't have to divide the money. Remember, a couple of those were like creditors.
The absolute balls on him to boast about it right in front of the man.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Quick, let's chase him while enjoying this delicious Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Trademark.
Oh, hey, Sonico.
I wonder if KFC actually debuted in the UK by this time.
I don't know.
First KFC opened here in 1965, so this actually was a year before.
So this was the perfect.
In my country, it actually arrived only a couple of years ago, surprisingly enough. But I really appreciate it nonetheless.
Oh, he knows.
Nothing personal.
So much for your theory earlier then, Jova.
Huh. Well,
Okay,
yeah,
also
that
Although again, he was going to kill everybody, so why did he build that diorama?
I also, well, okay, that is actually legitimately better. I guess the idea was that he wanted to keep them occupied for a bit, and also sort of was the ideal distraction of him getting out of the room. He said, I can just have this job dispose of this one person, while I can guess all the others at the same time. But true, he could have done something, briefer in order to keep them occupied. I get what this means.
Maybe Goldfinger just really wanted to show off.
Yeah, okay, considering how much of his ego there is, I get also the idea that he's one that loves to have others, being
question though,
exalted
actually,
upon.
guys.
Yeah.
If you were in a Bond film and your character was about to die, which of the two methods we've just seen here would you rather be killed by? Gas or being shot in the car?
The less painful choice, I guess.
Which I guess is being shot. Well, I mean, assuming that the gas is one of those very, very cruel ones.
Now we get another weird detail of films around this time. We have to see every single detail about how this car ends up being crushed.
Yes.
That's one way to dispose of the...
It's important.
I mean, he's dead, so...
To see that is important.
We're also going to dispose of the evidence, Sweeney Todd style.
Frankly, I'm just reminded also on the depressing, Cars song that happens in the Brave Little Toaster towards the end.
That little bout of nightmare fuel.
Which includes stuff like a funeral, deposing car, and one that decides to commit suicide.
I get it, Tio. Depressing, because the car just got pressed.
That was totally intended. Well, at least it's a very discreet, compact trasher, because there's no trace of blood.
Well, any blood would be on the inside.
Pretty sure it would be filtered.
Be leaking out.
Yeah.
I do wonder, though, if the tracker is intact.
It was a tiny piece of machinery, so it might be, along with the paper.
Oh.
Or maybe not.
Now we got to see Oddjob's whole entire car journey back home.
Oops, they just missed him.
It's like the beginning of Birdemic, Lives.
I assure you I won't. I assure you I will not kill you or betray you like I have everyone else, Fräulein.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Totally.
Racing trips. Ah.
Ooh.
I can't take any of these characters saying her name seriously.
I know, right? Again, props to the entire crew managing to go through without corpse. Okay, at least the security stepped up.
Yeah, okay, you know, if I will give Goldfinger this credit, he does wisen up to stuff.
He actually does respect quite a bit of evil Overlord list, to be honest.
And ironically enough, sparing Bond's life actually did work out for him, since it'll be a way to tell those two agents to back off. So, yeah, in this case...
Oh, here we go. This is one important thing was changed from the book. Cool trivia. Mm-hmm. Is that a Professor Layton puzzle or something? How many picaras this is worth?
So let me guess. Bond's going to propose a less deadly way.
Yeah, okay. No,
I'm going to be removing the gold.
In the original book, that was actually the plan, actually steal Fort Knox.
Yeah, but people worked out that it would take Goldfinger like
too much
months to do that. By that point, the entire U.S. military will be there in like an hour or so.
So they actually altered the Goldfinger, playing a more logical one.
I'm curious, how did he do it in the book then?
That was only his attempt. He never actually succeeds.
Ah, well, obviously, because, you know, it is Fort Knox.
Instead, in here, it will detonate a particular type of like radioactive-esque gas, which will contaminate the gold and make it actually useless, essentially making the economy of the United States falling unless someone actually owns gold like him. It's actually quite ingenious.
Yeah, just go ahead and mess with our economy.
Oh, yeah, it's basically to fix a rather silly plot in the book. They went for just going to blow it up.
You know, the ironic thing...
You'll irradiate it, but... Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the ironic thing is that Brexit probably would have done this man's job for him much easier.
Ooh.
Yeah, but he couldn't wait that long.
That fruit is on the ground.
Well, it did really screw up the economy, which is technically the plan now, so topical.
I guess.
Yeah, that's a good point. Wouldn't want James Bond too close to the action, otherwise he could blow it sky high.
But they just want him close enough to be affected.
Pressing indeed.
So that's what you define as more, proper attire for the occasion.
Well, it's obvious what he's doing. He's setting his queen piece out to distract Bones' king.
Oh no, I get it. It's just that the idea of having a more, seducing kind of attire is just something with a bit more cleavage.
Yeah, the outfit is barely any different to the one she had on already.
Just, more cleavage. That's it.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised how effective that can be. It usually starts with that, but that makes the striptease all the more exciting for men. And women who are into that.
Felix, no.
Maybe old age has wear it on his mind, Wibbs.
But he's barely that much older than the glass guy who played him.
Yeah, very well in hand. I mean, okay, to be fair...
Wow, you two really sucks.
I guess to be fair, as far as they know, Bond with a woman around his arm is Bond in his natural habitat.
The mighty agents of CIA, folks.
Actually, I think you mean MI6. Well, I'm sorry.
No, remember, Felix and the other were the
sorry, you're right.
Like CIA agents that assisted Bond. Ooh.
I love how whimsical the music was when she pretty much rolled him. Don't.
Really, you fell for that. Seriously, what's in the movie fast forwarding?
The editor must have loved his job. Let me see.
Yeah, but this kind of thing is common for when Peter Hunt edited the movies. Yeah, here we go.
It starts as them trying to kill each other, and let me guess, evolves into pork.
It's called a hate. It's called a hate fuck.
True, and from what I've heard from some people, those are incredibly satisfying for some reason.
Maybe it's to do with the line between hate and love. I don't know.
Well, let me guess, in the book, that's where he converts her, but thankfully they left that out of the movie.
Mm-hmm. I get the idea that they did it just, for convenience sake and more than anything, but yeah. Again, I'll reserve more details for after the movie is done.
So now we see her flying troop in action, I guess.
Since we have to spread the gas. So.
Yeah, the first part of Operation Grand Slam, gas everybody in the vicinity of Fort Knox. Hey, baby.
I mean, that's what the gas is supposed to do.
It's a bit more than rockabye.
Okay, I really don't get this. Why a lot of these countdowns skip the number 1?
I guess it's to get to the point that time is up for sure now.
And yes, by the way, the extras are the same repeated for each scene. We're just changing spots to showcase the fact that there are more people in Fort Knox. If I recall correctly, there is one particular scene where if you freeze frame it, the two people are bonking each other heads and are laughing while falling.
Oh snap! They're all dead.
So yeah, some of them falling down dead are a bit more convincing than others. It's not quite It's not quite the full story, but we'll get there.
Oh yeah, I'm probably guessing that they swapped it out for some more harmless gas, but we'll have to wait and see, I guess. Like, again, for music that's supposed to be about them killing them, the music was surprisingly upbeat. Which already raises my suspicion.
Very good work. Fire the missiles at the planes!
I mean, it's not too different. They actually have to bomb the electrified fence, like he said.
Yeah, it's a good job there aren't any, American Air Force planes patrolling the area. They're like, all the vehicles have stopped moving except for these ones.
Or the fact that were people, stuck indoors without having to breathe in the gas for some reason. No, everyone was afflicted.
Also, it worked a lot faster on them than it did the gangsters earlier.
The humanity.
The absolute carnage of it all.
Oh, and also the CIA agents.
Well, Felix. Just take your mask off, Bond, nothing more.
Uh-huh.
Those look like dinghies you see in swimming pools.
Oh, pool noodles.
They're not really floating dreams. They're clearly more, explosive.
Just point that in the swimming pool by mistake.
Okay, I guess swimming pool activities would be more interesting if those things were introduced, I guess. I get the idea that the composer wanted this to be like intense in a sense of, oh, this shit is really happening. Like it's grandiose, but in like an evil kind of way. But it just comes off as triumphant for some reason.
It sounds like parade music.
That it does.
I mean, it is going well for them so far. So.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's triumphant for the bad guys.
Oh, the laser.
Here's the laser. Might as well actually use it for something other than just the torture. Okay, this is straight up classic Doctor Who sound effects.
I thought you were going to say Clay, straight up classic Dr. Wily annoying factor.
Nah.
Hurry up, it's gonna take forever. And yeah, again, every single detail.
Mm-hmm.
It
There we
helps,
go.
I guess. Of course, gotta arrive in style. Huh.
See atomic device right there.
Step right this way.
Okay, those seconds are counting down really fast.
Oh? What's this?
They were just faking it.
Yeah, the one that some of the quote falling down dead looked unconvincing.
Because it was actually improvised.
But wait, That would mean that Pussy Galore's troops weren't depositing the poisonous gas over. Yeah, Goldfinger, for as much as you did follow the evil overlord list, you missed the part about not having the prisoner interact with one of your high-ranking members of the opposite sex. How cute. He's going to blow him up with it.
It would depend on what kills you first, Mr. Bond. The explosion or the radiation.
Could imagine the boredom being what kills me off first.
Then perhaps it would be less painful.
Yeah, only a couple of seconds to act, James, so... Shit.
Wait a minute. That gas was rubbish.
Well, dang.
Hey,
so
wait!
much for royalty. Wow.
Everyone will
Hey.
of course he has a golden gun. Well, at least it's... okay, again, the only reason it's not... The only reason it's not a Desert Eagle is probably because
wait, who are you, sir?
Yet.
Wait, who was that guy? Ah! You are the stupidest soldiers ever.
The pride of the U.S. military one.
You barely knew that guy.
Give it to our job, loyal to the end.
Wow, he is actually willing to die. So, how does that sound effect? That sounds like something I would hear in Looney Tunes. Okay, so seriously, Odd Job, did the guy save you as a child or something? Like, there's gotta be some point.
Goldfinger, as you can imagine, Joe, Goldfinger pays really well.
Yeah, but I don't think you'll be able to enjoy that money when you're dead.
Remember, Jover, he'll probably fly away at some point.
I just got one more flight of stairs and I'll be right there.
Or you can just do that. Oops.
Or screw the stairs.
I mean, I get paying well, but Odd Job, you won't be able to enjoy that money if you're blown sky high with the bomb, now will you?
Oof.
Oh dear.
Maybe he genuinely loves the job for some reason.
So much so he's willing to die for it.
Oh!
Taste gold.
Well, sure, he is called Odd Job, so...
Well, crud, he can literally take gold to the body.
Less than 4 minutes.
Despite his short stature, he is amazingly strong. Oh, snap.
Seriously?
Chill.
I gotta kill this guy.
There you go, Joe, but see, look at that smile on his face. Clearly, he enjoys his work.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Wee.
Where did our big commanding officer go?
They must have waxed the pavement real good that day.
Oh, yeah, sure. A lead pipe will do it.
Also, props for the movie to not actually have the bombastic score during at least all the fight. Instead, it's mostly quiet.
I guess it's to help show how serious the situation is.
Remember, these were also the years of the Star Trek original series where you had the classic, fight scene. Dun, 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 always.
It just has this really eerie noise in the background.
It's the bomb, actually.
Ow.
Oh,
is that what that is?
Mimi.
Think, Bond, think. What could possibly
Don't
take
touch
him
the
down?
cable.
You lucky son of a bitch.
Less than 2 minutes.
Wow.
Come at me.
All right. By the way,
Catch.
I've been meaning to give you back your hat. You seem frightened by it.
It's just a hat.
One that can cut through statue!
Shit.
Oh, bollocks. Psych!
For the record, the actor actually seriously got burned by it, and the director actually did ask him at some point that he could just stop, but he actually went through it just to be committed to the role.
Wow. So he's as loyal in character as he is in real life, apparently.
Considering apparently he was a professional wrestler, I can't believe it.
Still, though, Jesus. Like, wow. There's the bombastic music. No, seriously, Bond, you mess with our gold, that's going to cause an international incident.
I mean,
Suppose what's going to happen in a minute if he doesn't stop it.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, first the British tax us, and then they take our gold?
Wait, I know. Ah!
Death by door. Oh, bummer.
Come on, Bond, hurry up.
There we go. Only 30 seconds.
Now, do you know how to shut it off?
Now what to do? But they're all blue.
Yes.
We're just gonna wait till the last second, I guess.
Almost drove up. Originally it was supposed to end at 3 seconds. But, you know, might as well have the pun. Why not? Hey. In fact, that dialogue just referenced the fact the 3 more ticks. So it was something that was changed, I think, after the scene was filmed.
Yes, what did make Pussy Galore call them? Yeah, her maternal instincts.
Yeah, hey guys, good news. Because of Bond's service to make sure that America's economy doesn't get frozen for nearly 60 years, he's going to have a meal with the president.
Oh, goody.
Okay, remind me again. 1964. Yeah. Oh, Jova, you're the American. We've probably been taught at schools. Who was the president at the time?
Oh, let me think if I can remember. The president in 1964, that was Lyndon B. Johnson.
Okay, I guess it could have been worse.
Well, I guess all's well that ends well.
Mm-hmm.
Totally. Complete with an adjustable chair and everything.
Oh.
You're making me very much question the services on this flight, Mr. Goldfinger.
Classic line of the villain who's about to die.
Yep.
Just as planned.
Okay, if I recall correctly, at least from what I remember, in the book, Oddjob had survived and he actually gets killed in this fight the way Goldfinger is about to die, while Goldfinger actually died in a different way.
And also, I'm starting to feel like it was Goldfinger who invented the golden gun.
Wait.
Because his gun is also golden.
Whoop.
Wow, he actually got sucked out that window.
See, Lives? Continuity!
Like the hybrid... Like the hybrid in Alien Resurrection. Ha! It's no use.
We're about to hit final climax. Well, I've been.
Watch out! You're gonna crash! Ah!
Oh, bugger. Of course it's in the water. Oh no, James Bond, he must be dead.
Things were really volatile back then.
Oh, look at that, they survived. How? Oh, parachute.
Of course.
You just put in a plane crash. You're gonna, like...
Careful you don't get tangled up in that parachute, you two. It's okay. Let's let them think I'm dead for a bit so we can have sex.
Not to mention Shiroi. James wants to find out if she lives up to her name. So.
And there you go. No post-credit scene.
The end of Goldfinger.
James Bond will not be invited to a Tom and Jerry initiative.
Infundable.
Already
next one.
Preparing us for the next movie, are ya?
Well, by this point, this franchise was a hit after hit, so it was pretty safe.
And will be also important because it will be another round against Spectre with an actor from my country, Adolfo Celi. But that's a story for another time.
And also for the next movie, Felix will have yet another
plastic surgery. Anyway, before we get the final thoughts, to bring a more proper quote from TV tropes in the book, Pussy is, specifically stated to be lesbian until Bond magic charms make her consider. Honor Blackman discussed this aspect in the 2006 AMC television special, Bond Girls Are Forever. The thing is that Pussy's backstory is that she was abused as a child from Goldfinger, who was also her uncle in the book. And the actress believed that because of this abuse, she decided to be lesbian until Bond got her in touch with her actual heterosexuality.
That's not how that works.
Yeah, not really. The one time Goldfinger and Pussy interact off screen in the movie, she is relaxing besides in the Kentucky Ranch, and we seem to have a comfortable professional relationship. But the movie version of Pussy is based on the on-screen evidence heterosexual to begin with. So like I said, the movie kind of unintentionally just dodged a bullet.
Basically.
Anyway, Libs, final thoughts, sir.
Hey, yes, it's definitely easy to see why this film is considered the quintessential Bond film. It's got all the tropes at play. Sean Connery as Bond, a good villain, one of the better Bond girls, one that isn't just there to be window dressing, and a plot that's actually better than the book. Well, the villain plan, anyway. I mean, seriously, could you imagine if they went with the plan from the book? I think it would be there for ages.
Wasn't Yosemite Sam's plan to steal Fort Knox at some point?
Yes. There's actually a short where Boggs is a Yankee and God, what's the name of the other one? The other faction, Jova?
The Confederates.
During the Civil War.
Yeah, a Confederate in that case, I guess.
Confederate, yeah, sure.
I mean, to be honest, with a film as popular as this, it's really hard to not repeat things that people haven't already said. The only things that haven't really aged well are the kissy scenes. Let me put it that way, especially that one in the barn. But aside from that, it's a really good Bond film, and it's one of my favorites. I won't be sure how much I can say about the next one, but we'll have to. But the next one's Thunderball. We'll have to see about that, especially considering its history, in a way, and also it'll be funny because for this series of films, we'll essentially be doing that plot twice, but we won't know. But we won't get there till 1983. So we'll just wait for it. We'll just have to wait for it. But yeah, overall, Goldfinger's a really good movie, and I think this was the peak of the Connery era of Bond movies.
It's that well, Joe, of all the Connery movies, it is the most iconic. I can tell you that.
Well, it definitely has quite a lot of set pieces that are very memorable.
Yeah.
You done, Dibs?
Yep, I'm done.
Pedro?
No, it's great. Like, again, when it comes to Bond movies, this is one of the all-time classics. That's not even a question. Like, the scene, there's the iconic scene that everybody knows because it's been referenced so many times over the course of the decades. And
referring to the gold scene or the laser scene?
Both. But yeah, the more iconic one is, of course, the "You expect me to talk." No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die. Because there's like one particular reference that I remember is when Dexter in Dexter's laboratory gets trapped by evil photographers. Don't ask. And do you expect me to talk? No, Agent Dexter. I expect you to smile. Yeah, and it's just there's a lot of action, great action, a really good, some really great villains, and again, it's just hilarious, involving stuff like the Pussy Galore name and stuff like that. Fortunately, like Theo said, this adaptation dodges the bullet, which made it age a lot better than the book. So
yeah,
that's one of the main reasons why I stick to the movies, because Ian Fleming was a homophobic asshole. So I'm not entirely in a hurry to read his books, to be honest with you.
That's clear.
No. Like no, that's the thing.
I didn't know that because I have no.
I actually don't know even the details. I haven't checked the book myself. I don't think Dominic Noble ever talked about the Bond movies at some point.
Ian Fleming?
In his comparison?
I don't. Oh, Dominic Noble.
Yeah.
Has he? I don't think he has.
That was my question. I will check it after we're done. Hello, Theo from the editing room here. So I did ended up checking if Dominic Noble did one of his Lost in Adaptation videos regarding the movie, and yes he did. Actually quite some time ago in 2015. Let's just say that our expectations were more optimistic than we thought, and Ian Fleming turned out to be even more awful than we thought. If you're still interested, I'll leave a link in the description for you to see.
Oh, sure, I understand. It's kind of like some people who it's like somehow some creationists try to argue, oh, but Darwin was a racist. Okay, so what does that matter? Like, of course he was racist. He lived in the 1800s. Whatever. Anyway, yeah, no, it's a really great movie for its time. Obviously today, of course, it may be a bit old-fashioned for a lot of modern audiences, but it has a lot of charm to it. And like I said, I really appreciate this good old-fashioned sexual innuendo humor that's just so proud to be unsubtle. That's just so fun.
Again, I mean, gotta give credit to the woman. She rocks the name Pussy Galore and struts with it.
Anyway, like I said to Shiro earlier, Joe, like that's why Bond said there was no time to be rescued, because he wanted to find out if she lives up to her name. So, yeah, no, it's
half a movie, damn it.
It's a classic. It's an absolute classic. Obviously, there are some things here and there that feel old-fashioned, but again, it's 1964 movie, so obviously you have to expect that. But no, I still have a ton of fun watching it, and it's one of the all-time greats of the series for a reason. It's just set up the formula that we all know and love today. I'm done.
I'll go next.
Yeah, go ahead, Joe.
So, yeah, honestly, this is definitely my favorite James Bond movie seen so far. I will start with talking about for the sake of convenience, let's call her the love interest of this movie, or multiple ones. Okay, so I guess one thing I do wonder, though, was there much point to the whole Tilly Masterson thing? Like, she wants to avenge her sister, only to get killed herself as well.
From what I checked here, Jova, apparently in the book, Tilly also was lesbian and apparently in love with Pussy Galore. But I'm checking right now the details about...
Wait, hold on. Well, that's weird, because in the movie, there's no mentioned relationship between her and Pussy Galore.
Yeah, again, the movie just straight up cut away, all the LGBT stuff and basically have all the female characters be heterosexual.
Which, fair enough, but when it comes to, okay, I don't know for what reason they did it, but like you said, at the very least, it gets rid of the iffy stuff on Bond, showing them the error of their ways or convincing them of this or that.
I will say this, it makes the character of Tilly in the movie a bit pointless.
Yeah. That's pretty much my point. Is I thought that Tilly was going to be the new main female lead, complete with the motivation that she wants to avenge her sister, and then she dies.
I don't know. I feel like that's a very, very acceptable price to pay for what we escaped from.
Sure. Like I said, also the dodging the bullet of a movie is more accidental than anything. I can imagine that the bigger thought didn't cross the mind. It's just a fortunate coincidence in this case.
Well, to be fair, we don't know the exact. As far as I'm aware, the filmmakers never specifically talked about it, so we don't know for sure if it was accidental or not. Maybe it was not accidental. Maybe it was. It probably wasn't, considering this is a 1964 movie. But technically, we don't know for sure. That's basically what I'm saying.
Sure.
Regardless, though, like I said, I do feel like, unfortunately, the character of Tilly Masterson does kind of feel pointless. Like, yeah, she wants to avenge her sister, but then she dies, and that's the thing. She's not even in the movie for that long.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, it feels like Bond forgot about her, too. Like, sure, yeah, you could argue that all he did was to avenge her and her sister, but honestly, I feel like the movie wouldn't be that much different if you cut her out. Granted, I guess what she does contribute to the plot is messing up at the worst possible moments, and that's what leads to Bond getting caught, so well done. That said, though, moving away from her, though, Pussy Galore, on the other hand, is quite possibly the strongest female character we've seen in the series so far. Mm-hmm. And I don't just mean the fact that she lives with a name like Pussy Galore, because trust me, that takes a lot of spiritual energy. But no, she's actually a capable fighter. She's definitely well high up on the ranking bout here and there. And yeah, while her heel face turn is a bit kind of like, a bit Deus Ex Machina-ish, or I guess Sex Machina, more so, by way of James Bond, she still just seemed like a more layered character than, let's be honest, most of the women were up to this point. That's not to say that we didn't have women with several layers, but let's think about it. The main lead female from the first movie was essentially a bikini model who happened to live on an island.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the woman in the second one was arguably building up on that. She was technically a sleeper agent who betrayed her own command for that, so there was that. But Pussy Galore does feel like, an actual full-fledged one. She's a stunning entrepreneur of sorts, owns her own business and everything. We don't know why she's in this here and there, but she does have layers to her character. And again, she's a capable fighter. Maybe not the best we'll see, period, from this series, because at its core, it is pretty basic by modern standards. But overall, a good evolution overall. Now, the movie as a whole, definitely loads of fun. It's the right mix of seriousness with the silly here and there. You got, literally, the concept of Odd Job is both silly yet deadly serious at the same time as well. It's a guy attacking things with a buzzsaw hat. And yet, every scene he's in, he pretty much owns.
He doesn't even say anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, there's only a few minor lines that are mostly just commands.
Pretty much, yeah. The set pieces in this are iconic, from the deadly gold paint, even though that method of death is bollocks, as we well established, but all the same, it is still an iconic and striking shot. A woman cold dead, covered in gold.
Mm-hmm.
Is she worth her weight in gold, though, I wonder? But regardless, there's that. There's, of course, the deadly laser scene. And all the other bits here. The villain here is relatively genre-savvy compared to other Bond villains here and there. Sure, he does some iffy things like letting Bond live, but ultimately that ends up working into his favor. Until the very end, of course, but still, as far as he knows, it is stuff that works to his favor, and not something that he would be regretting for not obviously doing. So, yeah, kudos. Goldfinger is a pretty remarkable villain. Again, this is a movie that strikes that balance well, so, yeah. Best Bond movie I've seen so far. I'm sure there's more to come, but still, well done. Well done. Jolly good.
Sure.
Pretty much what Jova said. This is a lot more fun than I expected. This is not a genre, I particularly pay attention to, but it was a lot of fun. I really like the music. It's not, I wouldn't go as far as to call it unfitting, but it is very, very quirky. But, the movie itself has enough quirky balance to it that it does actually work, I think. I also like the character of Oddjob. Just why? I don't understand you, sir. My thoughts on...
Yeah, I guess I think you're going to like Spectre because Batista plays a very similar henchman in Spectre. That's clearly meant to be a throwback to this guy.
All right, cool. As for my thoughts on, the elephant in the room, I mean, okay, they retconned a gay character, but what they did was a blindside better than, the book. So, you know what? Yeah. I'll take erasure of them over them flat out trying to deal with that crap. So, it is what it is,
I guess one has to wonder, Shuri, is it complete erasure? Because technically it's one half of her character. Like, she starts off lesbian, but then ends up straight. So,
not even just that.
TV tropes calls this secure your gaze.
Technically,
which is, again, it was very common in fiction around that time.
Here's another thing, Shiroi. All of the people who were involved in making this movie by this point are dead, so we can even ask them. Unless we find out that they specifically mentioned something otherwise, maybe it's possible we can assume she's bisexual. Would that work at the very least better?
I think that would probably... Yeah. Okay, if for some reason this movie were to get a reimagining or a remake or whatnot, I would propose that the best solution would be just make her bisexual.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Maybe we could have... that would be great. Like, one great thing you could have done is have Bond have a menage a trois with two women, one of them possibly being a lesbian. That could work fine for an interesting thing that never done with that running gag in Bond, and at the same time have a nice bisexual representation there that works fine. So
fine enough. But yeah, I mean the movie's still fun as it is. They avoided that nonsense with the book. It's fine. It's good. I really liked it. There we go.
All right, I'll conclude then. Sure. It's very interesting how this managed to set up the formula, despite not having the more recurring, stuff involved with the character and his mythos. And frankly, I'm actually surprised that it even took the advantage and in later movies retcon Goldfinger to be a sleeper agent for Spectre in order to cannibalize a bit the popularity of this movie. No, they actually stay true and just leave him as a standalone villain, which is pretty interesting. But yeah, this set up a lot of things. The iconic henchman, the very elaborate solo plan, on an egomaniac kind of scheme. The previous two movies were more traditional spy stories that involved international intrigues, on behalf of superpowers, for example. Even Dr. No, to an extent, was still feeling that kind of role. Here instead, we're just seeing some asshole who just loves gold so much he will fuck up the economy of a country for it. He's not like a Russian agent or something. But also the music's still very quirky. And yeah, even the bongers in this movie are actually much less props, and they tend to have more, autonomy and identity to it. There is, of course, the elephant in the room that we discussed over and over, but like you ever mentioned, this is more preferable than just repeating what happened in the book. Again, it would probably be interesting to have a behind the scenes if we knew with the hindsight of today. But even if it is, if it's just speculating, it's just fine. That in itself, thankfully, does not, alter that much of my vision of the movie anyway. It's fine for what it is. It's fine as a product of its time. Sure, like we've said, some stuff has aged, but most movies of the time actually did. So again, if you have that kind of mindset of viewing these for the time it was made, you'll be pretty much fine. That being said, I actually do remember more the movie that's after this. Thunderbolt. Reeves has talked about trouble development, but I don't remember. I guess we'll have to ask him. If you excuse me, I'll have to wash off this god-awful paint. See you for Thunderbolt, everyone.
See ya.
See ya.
See ya.